Hi, this is Jacqueline Ludo for RVRW. We are with Leigh Stringer. Leigh, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you for being on. I have a couple questions to ask you. This book you wrote, The Green Workplace. Tell me a little bit about it. I read that it was inspired by your blog.
The book was published in 2009. About 2 years before that, I was asked to speak on the topic of green and the workplace. Two topics of which I'd never spoken about before. And in the research of that presentation to the AIA a while back, I just really got into it. I thought, this is a subject that hasn't been written about in a while, and I really love both these topics. And it's funny, there isn't enough out there that really will give a good story about what it should be, what a really green workplace is. And through the research for this presentation, it turned into a blog. I thought, you know what, I've got enough here to write 30 blog posts, so let me just go for it. I've never done a blog before, but why not? I had a few friends who showed me what to do, and then once I got started doing it, it was really kind of addicting. You have an audience, you have people who reply to what you say occasionally, and in the green world and in the built community, it's a fairly small one when you really get down to it. There were a lot of people who were very interested and passionate about it, and who would tell me all kinds of new research ideas, and sure enough, after 2 or 3 months, maybe 4 months, I had enough for a book. I realized this is really good stuff.
Why is your book so important to read?
When you're reading this book, there are many tactical ways, very practical ways that you as an individual can make a difference and your team can make a difference. And if you're reading it as an executive, that your organization can make a difference. Through very specific things that not only help the environment but also help the bottom line. I really believe the two are interconnected. It's all about minimizing the use of resources all over the place, and so it's a wonderful message in general, and an easy thing to do to make a case for doing the right thing for the environment by saving money.
How could one person, like a regular person like myself, make a difference? Like, what's just one simple thing?
It's hard to really integrate into your lifestyle, both work and home. And so my advice is to just pick one thing, whatever that is. It could be, recycling. It could be reducing, the materials that you buy in some way, using those reusable bags, for example, or non-disposable commods, or anything, something like biking or walking to work.
Okay. What inspired you to be green?
I was actually pregnant with my daughter at the time, and my husband and I went to see The Inconvenient Truth. I hate to say that I am was so impacted by a movie, but I really was. And but I was really, really pretty struck by some of the issues that we're dealing with. And I walked out of the movie theater thinking, if I don't do something, we're in trouble.
What do you think about all the lights that are used in New York City? And how would we convince people not to use so many?
First off, you can start by looking at the lights you use. So before you change the mindset that buildings need to be lit, just using LED or some other sort of fixture that uses significantly less energy than a compact fluorescent or an incandescent, which you used to see traditionally. I think moving towards that. And then secondly, it's really kind of picking and choosing carefully those things from a safety perspective we should consider. But maybe not shining lights up into the sky is not so good. Shining down where people need it. One of the interesting story actually with the baseball stadium, which HOK was involved in doing in DC, they used special lights that actually shone down on the field but not up. Usually you drive by a baseball stadium and you see lights in the sky, right? Well, that stadium, the lights are only going down to the field, and that's to protect the nocturnal animals that are commuting during the evening hours
Really?
It's actually a really big deal.
That is really interesting.
Right. So this is, one of the small things that we can do and you use a lot less energy, right? Because you're only needing to shine it down. And with special reflector lights, you can really accomplish a lot. So there are ways of shaping the fixtures themselves, as well as resetting our expectations on what needs to be lit and why.
So we did a lot of research on you, and you're like a superstar. You should probably run for president, because I've never heard so many different coworkers say nice things about you. So I read down quite a few of them because there was like a million things. And they said you were a visionary, a brainiac, a green mastermind, unbelievably smart, compassionate, thoughtful, charming, funny, a focused leader. You were trusted, well-respected, intellectual, globally driven, energetic, smart, passionate, caring, generous, progressive thinker. I really like that one. A perfect leader. You're very loved, and you have become a mentor to some of your workers. How do you feel to hear that every single one of your colleagues think so highly of you?
It's humbling, actually, to hear that. And I don't know. I think, when I think about what I'm trying to do with, my little impact on the world, it is to make it a better place. And, a lot of that has to do with giving back in different ways. And if mentorship is one way I feel it's really important for people, everybody to do. We have that responsibility as people to pass on any good ideas, because usually you pass on an idea and it comes back better. Yeah. There's that, but also it's just an obligation that we have to teach and to share and to lift up other people as leaders. So I guess if there's one legacy that I'd like to leave, it's to really empower other people to find their passion and to go with it and take it wherever it's going to lead them.
If you had a dream, what would it be?
I would love to find out that everything I wrote about in the green workplace is obsolete and not, it's just so standard and easy and just, ridiculously simple to understand, that everybody's doing it already and they've moved on. Several years from now, I hope that I'm talking to folks, this is a thing that's understood and a baseline practice for business and a baseline practice for behavior everywhere, and that we're talking about how to make the world incredibly richer through using fewer resources. But I think in the world of architecture and design, I feel like as a whole we've been pretty lazy over the last several years. And it's only since the recent resurgence of environmental movement have people been kind of alive again. I know that sounds a little cheesy, but for so long we've been pumping out these buildings that, cube farms, and they all look the same, and we're using these standards, and we haven't been really designing buildings and thinking about the natural elements and all the parts and pieces in the environment that can help us create better buildings for people.
So I want everyone to go get this, The Green Workplace by Leigh Stringer. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. Pleasure.